Hey, how's it going? It's Jesse of REI Conversion, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I haven't done this before, but it's more of a website audit. I may do a series of these ongoing and just talking about certain things that will help your conversion rates, that'll help you drive sales, that'll help you get more leads. And today I have a listener from our podcast, the REI Conversion Podcast, who reached out to me and we started talking about her website and how she isn't able to move any of her properties. I did have a look at her website and I thought there could have been super simple fixes that could be done. And that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to talk about some of the simple fixes that can be done on a website that can easily make a difference in your conversion rates and as well as your sales and should help you get more buyer leads. I can go off forever and talk about designs, little minute things, but I want to talk about sort of the major things that you should have on your selling website, land selling website. And if you haven't checked it out, you can look at our template here at the landlist.reiconversion.com and just check out what we've sort of built in terms of structure, layout, to make sure that we've strategically optimized everything on our website. So coming back to Sandy's website, and she's been kind enough to let me share this with everybody. The first thing that I notice is her headline. The headline here states a family-owned business specializing in land investments. A headline like that doesn't really give much sense for the visitor or the buyer to understand what this website is all about. You can easily lose a visitor simply from the headline alone. And the headline should really explain the major benefit of this service, of her business. I mean, it's simply stating what is Sandy Land. When that headline should really state, hey, you're here on this website, you're going to get discounts on land. That's all you need to say, and that's all what we do. Whether you're selling houses or land, the same thing needs to be communicated in your headline. Your headline is that important, and you need to get that across right away. In terms of design, this headline needs to be a little bit higher up on the page. You want to try to fit as much on the fold line. So if I sort of kept this windowed, not full screen, you need to be able to make sure you're using your real estate on your homepage as best as possible. You want to utilize all of this space. So my suggestion is to bring up your headline and then add an opt-in form. So you need to be starting your selling websites. One of the main purpose, yes, is to sell and facilitate the sale of properties. But another almost equally or more important function of your selling website is to collect buyer leads. The thing is, majority of people are not ready to purchase a piece of land right off the bat. They need to be warmed up. They need to be familiar with your brand. They need to see all these things, and they need to take all these many steps before they're a hot lead to actually purchase a piece of property. Because when that perfect piece of property lands on your website one of these days, they're going to be ready to snatch it up, and you need to have warmed them up. And that's why it's so important to have an email capture form or some sort of a form to capture emails. Now, the easiest way to have a capture form on here is on the homepage to say, hey, get on my email list for to get notified of hugely discounted land, and just ask them for their name and email. You could do all sorts of incentivizing things, offering discounts or letting them know that they're going to be the first to get on a deal, or they're going to be on a specific email list that'll get deals of the week or something along those lines. You need to incentivize them to actually submit their email. Another one that we do is we simply ask them, what are the properties you're looking for? That way we can, on our page here, we mention, how can we find your perfect property for you? So we ask them for where they're looking for property, and then we do a little bit of research as well, ask them where they found us, and then get them to submit their email. Now, this isn't our only email opt-in form. We've got a few on our theme, so it's super important on the homepage above the fold line. Again, a very strong headline with an opt-in form. Now, social media icons. This now becomes the focus of her homepage. This shouldn't be the focus of their homepage because this is the only other option on their page other than the menu item. Most people are going to see what's laying below the fold line here. You have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. None of these, which are going to serve you any purpose, are not going to act like distractions. So you want to get rid of as many distractions as you can, especially when a page doesn't have much content. Now, I definitely suggest to show a few of your properties on the homepage here. Again, to drive home what you guys are actually doing with this website. Okay, so that's sort of my audit on the home page. Image is fine. I'd suggest a little bit more clear of an image. Always use high HD quality images. If you have to use stock, go to something like unsplash.com and find some stock images that are free, that you don't need to pay for and can use on your website. So there's a bunch of them. Unsplash.com, I believe. You can also Google free stock photography and for commercial use. And there should be a few of them. Ones like Pexels I've seen before. So there's a bunch of them that you can be using in terms of great looking photography. Something like this could be a lot better, right? Okay, so just some other technical things. This headline up here, Google isn't going to like this. This does not help. Have your logo here. These all are things that need to be fixed. Okay, let's come into the properties page. It's not bad. I mean, it's showing the properties, which is what it needs to do. It does not need to look fancy, which I think, again, this is totally fine. The way this is set up in terms of scrolling, if they're not moused over here, now I'm not even sure how mobile is going to work. You've got two scrollings. This is not good because a lot of people are just going to bypass this very quickly and think there are only 3 properties for sale. Now, when I first loaded this up, the text was all pretty much janked up. I think it's okay now. So the text, I don't know why, when I was looking at this yesterday, was overlapping each other. And it wasn't just the one time that it loaded like that, but it looks like it got fixed now. But again, you don't want to keep your properties in a window. This is definitely going to get missed. You're going to definitely lose a bunch of people that are going to look at your property here. I think these photographies of the properties are fine. You don't want to have your main image as a map view. You do want something with a blue sky. If possible, you want to touch up these photos and sort of bring out the contrast and the brightness a little bit up here. It's a little bit hard to see all these photography. So I think photos are a huge selling point for property, especially land. Photography is what's going to sell it. Well, no, it's not what's going to sell it, but it's definitely the only visual that the buyers are going to get. So you want to get some nice photography. I mean, these aren't bad. It's a lot of sky more than the land itself, which is, again, totally fine. I'd work on sort of brightening up these images. Yeah. My suggestion has always been watermark your photos. I did a podcast episode on this. I think it's episode number 9. If you go to reiconversion.com/blog, you'll find that I give away tools for batch watermarking your photos. This is silly if you're not doing it, especially if you're posting it on Facebook or Craigslist. You need to watermark all your photos. It's going to only take you a second to do it. You need to drive everybody to your website. A, again, to facilitate the sale. B, to capture buyer leads. You want your visitors to come and get on your email list. You should be collecting emails on a daily basis. So if you're not past the 10 people mark and you've been active for about a month, you're definitely not doing something right, because the people that are making full advantage of their email list are collecting emails on a daily basis. So you definitely need to have that set up. Okay, so the other thing here, again, a huge and easy win for anybody that is selling land on their homepage, on their website, is a call to action. A clear call to action. There needs to be a button. When I'm quickly scrolling, I have no idea. Some people don't want to do any reading. I can barely see the text here that is covered up. I would keep your pricing up information at the very top. You need buttons. You need orange buttons. You need buttons that contrast, not necessarily orange. You need buttons that contrast with the rest of the design of the website. It needs to stand out. A good example, again, what we've done here is these orange buttons. Orange has been proven, this sort of shade of orange has been proven to convert the best, but in all honesty, what converts the best is what stands out. So if you had I don't know, like a blue background or a red background or a pink background or whatever, an orange button may not be best. So you want to see something that visually pops. Here we're seeing no buttons, pricing at the bottom, which needs to be at the top. Link for Google Maps and pictures seem to be the clearest call to action, which again, like this is not the call to action that they want to make. You should have screenshots of your map on this page already. Pictures should not be on a Google Drive like this. This should be very easy to access the pictures, and that's why you should have all your pictures laid out here and thumbnails as well. People need to know there's a gallery. So you're driving your users to do way too much work to find out about this property, and it's very, very easy to lose their attention at this point in time. I think this page definitely and the home page need the most work on. I think this page especially. So what I'd suggest for you to do is to have your images, brighten them up, bring the pricing to the top, and your call to action right under your pricing. So there should be an email. If you don't have a payment system set up on your site, that's totally fine. There should be a button that'll say reserve or purchase this property, and then it goes to an email or some sort of a contact form. Or again, there needs to be a clear call to action. I can't emphasize that anymore. And Google Maps, get your pictures as part of these slideshows here. And your pictures should also be part of the slideshows. Have thumbnails instead. If you're going to have a bunch of pictures and it's you feel it's just too many to have for someone to click, totally fine. Get them to show up as thumbnails. I think this is more than enough in terms of a Google map. You can leave a link, but it definitely does not need to be a button. Okay, another thing is I'd leave out having a blog. I don't think this blog section is going to really serve any purpose. If you find that it's an important piece of information, then make it as part of your information section, or if it's related to a certain property, then you'll want to copy and paste this information to that property. This definitely, again, it's going to cause distractions. You want to capture buyer leads, and you want them to look at your properties, and that's it, and understand how your business works, I would say. Now, if I'm looking through the rest of your site, I don't know why, but all the text are double scrolls. This is probably something you shouldn't have. All this text should be scrollable on your website already. Other than that, I think those are the basic changes that need to be made. Obviously, again, there's a bunch of design choices that can be changed as well. But I think for where Sandy needs to start is, again, to get that homepage fixed and to get each property page fixed. And this, especially this catalog page as well. I think a lot of people are going to actually miss this if they didn't mouse over here and scroll. And it's a very awkward scroll. So yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. If anybody ever wants their website, that listens to the podcast or has found me, feel free to submit it to me. I'm not here to, again, pick on anybody's website and sort of put them down. I think Sandy's got a lot of right going on here. There definitely is a lot of room for improvement that I think will easily make a difference in terms of you catching buyer leads and selling the property as well. The more professional you look, the more trust you can build, the easier to sell your property. And for those that are sort of getting started out and want a website that is going to be high converting and that everything is done for them, make sure you check out reiconversion.com. And in fact, check out our land list selling theme. It's landlist.reiconversion.com. And again, if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below. I believe I'm going to post this on Facebook and to our YouTube channel. And I hope all of you guys find this useful. Again, if you have a website that you want me to give a quick audit and give you sort of 4 to 5 points that you can easily fix that should help optimize your website, please go ahead and leave that in the comments section below. All right, thanks very much for following along, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Cheers.